Alright, Raiders Nation, buckle up, because we're diving into the heart of the AFC West with some serious heat on the horizon. Can you feel the electricity in the air? The Las Vegas Raiders, fresh off a gritty win to snap a 4-game skid, are gearing up for a colossal showdown against the Kansas City Chiefs this Sunday at Arrowhead Stadium. It's a clash that's got the whole NFL buzzing, and we're breaking it all down for you, right here, right now. Let's set the stage. The Raiders, sitting at 2-4, just clawed their way to a hard-fought victory last week, a win that reminded us all of the silver and black swagger that's defined this franchise since its renegade days in Oakland. Now, they're headed into the Lions' den to face the Chiefs, the two-time defending Super Bowl champs, who've been ruling the AFC West like a dynasty for a decade straight. This isn't just a game, it's a chance for the Raiders to make a statement, to show they can hang with the big dogs and maybe, just maybe, shake up the division. So, what's the game plan? How do the Raiders plan to storm into Kansas City and start a new streak? Let's dive in. First, let's talk about that win last week. The Raiders took down the Pittsburgh Steelers in a 32-13 beatdown at Allegiant Stadium, aka the Death Star, where the home crowd was absolutely electric. Maxx Crosby, the heart and soul of this defense, was a wrecking ball, racking up 2 sacks and living in the backfield like he owned it. Davante Adams. The man was uncoverable, hauling in 9 catches for 128 yards and a touchdown that had Raiders Nation roaring. And let's not sleep on quarterback Aidan O'Connell, who showed poise under pressure, completing 22 of 34 passes for 237 yards. It wasn't perfect, but it was a complete team effort. Offense, defense, and special teams firing on all cylinders. That's the kind of performance that has interim head coach Pete Carroll fired up and ready to take on Kansas City. Now, let's break it down. The Chiefs are no joke. They're 5-1, led by Patrick Mahomes, the Wizard of Arrowhead, and coached by Andy Reid, a mastermind who's built a juggernaut that's won the AFC West 10 years running. 10 years. That's the kind of consistency that makes you tip your cap, even if you're bleeding silver and black. Reid's teams play what we call complementary football. Offense, defense, and special teams all working in sync, like a well-oiled machine. Mahomes is slinging it to Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy's burning defenders deep, and their defense, led by Chris Jones, is a brick wall. But here's the thing. The Raiders have played the Chiefs tough over the last 2 seasons. Remember last year's Christmas Day upset? The Raiders stunned Kansas City 20-14 at Arrowhead, with their defense forcing 2 turnovers and Zamir White running wild. That game proved the Raiders can go toe-to-toe with the champs, and they're looking to channel that same energy this weekend. So, what's the key to pulling off the upset? I caught up with Coach Carroll earlier this week, and he was crystal clear about the challenge ahead. This isn't just a rivalry, he told me. It's an opportunity. The Chiefs have dominated this division forever, and if we want to be great, we've got to beat great teams. They're rolling right now, but we're ready to step up. Carroll's got a point. The Raiders can't just rely on one phase of the game, they need balance. Last week, their special teams were lights out, with Daniel Carlson nailing field goals and A.J. Cole pinning the Steelers deep with his punts. The defense was relentless, and the offense did just enough to seal the deal. But against Kansas City, there's no room for error. We've got to play all 3 phases at a high level, Carroll said. If one side slips, you're done against a team like this. Let's talk tactics for a second. On offense, the Raiders need to lean on Davante Adams early and often. He's one of the best receivers in the game, with hands like glue and routes so crisp they should come with a warning label. The Chiefs secondary, led by Trent McDuffie, is no slouch, but Adams has a knack for finding soft spots in zones and winning one-on-one matchups. Look for offensive coordinator Luke Getsy to dial up some creative play action looks to free up Adams and tight end Brock Bowers, who's been a revelation as a rookie. Bowers, by the way, is already drawing comparisons to Raiders legend Dave Casper. High praise for a kid who's only 6 games into his career. On the ground, Zamir White needs to keep the chains moving to control the clock and keep Mahomes off the field. The Raiders rank 22nd in rushing yards per game, 112.3, so they'll need to step it up against a Chiefs defense that's allowing just 90.5 yards on the ground. Defensively, it's all about containing Mahomes. Easier said than done, right? The guy's a magician, extending plays and making throws that defy physics. Maxx Crosby, who's already got 6.5 sacks this season, will be licking his chops to get after Mahomes. The Raiders' defensive line, with Christian Wilkins clogging the middle, has to generate pressure without blitzing too much. Mahomes eats blitzes for breakfast. In the secondary, Jack Jones and Nate Hobbs need to lock down Kelsey and Worthy, while safety Trayvon Moehrig keeps an eye on those deep shots. The Raiders' defense is giving up 24.7 points per game, which ranks 18th in the NFL, but they've got the talent to make life tough for Kansas City if they play disciplined. Now, let's put this game in context. The Raiders-Chiefs rivalry is one of the NFL's fiercest, dating back to the AFL days when Al Davis and Lamar Hunt were trading haymakers. From the Holy Roller in '78 to the Heidi game a decade earlier, these teams have a history of delivering instant classics. Raiders fans still talk about that 1970 game when Ben Davidson speared Len Dawson, sparking a brawl that defined the bad boy ethos of the silver and black. Fast forward to today, and the stakes are just as high. A win here could be a turning point for the Raiders' season, boosting their confidence as they head into a tough stretch against the Rams, Bengals, and Dolphins. A loss, though, could drop them to 2-5, making the playoff picture a lot murkier. Statistically, the Raiders have their work cut out for them. The Chiefs are averaging 28.2 points per game, 8th in the NFL, while the Raiders are at 19.8, 24th. Kansas City's turnover differential is +4, while the Raiders are at -3. But here's a fun stat. The Raiders have won 3 of their last 5 games against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. That's right, Vegas has had Kansas City's number on the road. If they can force a turnover or two, like they did last Christmas, this game could get very interesting. I reached out to a fictional Raiders legend, Marcus Allen, for his take on this matchup. "This is Raiders football," he told me. "It's about heart, it's about grit, and it's about showing up when the lights are brightest." These guys need to play with that commitment to excellence mindset Al Davis preached. Go out there, hit hard, and leave it all on the field. Fans at a local tailgate in Vegas echoed that sentiment. "We're ready to shock the world again," said lifelong fan Maria Gonzalez, decked out in a Ken Stabler jersey. "This team's got that old-school Raider fight in him." Looking ahead, what does this game mean for the Raiders' season? A win could spark a streak, giving them momentum to climb back into the wild-card race. The AFC West is brutal, with the Chiefs and Chargers both looking like playoff locks, but the Raiders have the talent to make noise if they string together some wins. A loss, though, puts them in a hole, and with tough games looming, they can't afford to fall too far behind. Long-term, this game is a chance to build chemistry for a young squad. O'Connell, Bowers, and White are the future, and games like this are where they cut their teeth. Let's sprinkle in some Raiders trivia to get you pumped. Did you know the Raiders are one of only 3 teams to win Super Bowls in 3 different cities? Oakland, Los Angeles, and Tampa. Well, close enough? Their 3 rings, 76, 80, 83, are a testament to the legacy of Al Davis, whose "just win, baby" mantra still echoes in the halls of Allegiant Stadium. And let's not forget John Madden, the larger-than-life coach who led the Raiders to their first Super Bowl and whose name is synonymous with football thanks to the iconic video game series. Fun fact, Madden's .759 winning percentage as Raiders coach is still the highest in franchise history. Pop culture. Oh, the Raiders have that in spades. From Ice Cube rocking a Raiders cap in his music videos to the team's cameo in The Fast and the Furious, the Silver and Black are a cultural institution. And who could forget Marshawn Lynch, the Oakland native who brought Beast Mode to the Raiders in 2017, electrifying fans with his Skittles-fueled runs. This team's rebellious spirit resonates far beyond the gridiron. So, what's my prediction? This one's gonna be a dogfight. The Chiefs are favored by 7 points, but I'm calling a close one. Chiefs 27, Raiders 24. Vegas keeps it tight, with Adams going off for another 100-yard day and Crosby getting in Mahomes' face, but Kansas City's home field advantage and Reed's play-calling edge them out. Still, don't count the Raiders out. They've got the heart to pull off the upset. Raiders Nation, this is your moment. Get those black jerseys on, fire up the grills, and pack Allegiant Stadium for the watch party. If you're in Vegas, head to the Strip and soak in the energy. Can't make it? Catch every second of this AFC West showdown on CBS at 4:25 p.m. Eastern, or stream it on Paramount+. And don't forget to follow us on social media for live updates, highlights, and all things Raiders. Let's hear it one more time. Just win, baby.